Leadership is not always sunshine and roses. I know, big shocker there. Sometimes you will face situations in your leadership role which create real uncertainty, such as restructures or job losses. But fear not, today we're going to equip you with the tools to help you lead effectively, even when uncertainty rolls in. So whether you're responsible for leading a big change piece in your organisation and you have a lot of information about what could potentially unfold, or you're trying to lead your team through it with no more insight than what they have, this video will share some tips on how you can be a strong and supportive leader throughout that uncertainty, and how you can motivate your team to continue to operate efficiently during this process. Now, there is plenty of uncertainty around these days, with economic concerns, political changes, and job pressure. So unfortunately, restructures are not an uncommon occurrence. So having the right tools to navigate through it as a leader is crucial, because you really want to be able to maintain that morale when the future is uncertain. Now, when faced with this type of situation, anxiety can really creep in for everybody in your team, and it can drag people down into the negative what-ifs of the potential outcomes that they could be facing, which could be potential job losses and financial uncertainty for them and their family. Being able to provide strong leadership and help boost morale provides that stability and reassurance, which comes along with a positive mindset. As while you can't promise anything tangible, you can help keep your team focused on what is right in front of them and bring a positive mindset of your own to help them regroup and encourage them to do the same. I have done a video on mindset, which is linked on the screen, but basically, being able to set yourself up with a good outlet for stress, perhaps through exercise or some way of switching off, and then sharing these ideas with your team to encourage them to be taking care of their own stress. It's really important not to ignore those signals that your team members might be displaying, that they are perhaps under considerable pressure of their own from the situation. So do make sure that you're equipped with the support that is available to support your team and yourself during these times. Often in a restructure, an organisation will provide a lot of this support or links to the support that is available for you and your team members, which could include offering counselling sessions or contact numbers for who can help them. So make sure that your team are well equipped with these resources, as while you can listen to your team and their concerns, you aren't a counsellor, you're a leader. And it is important to keep this distinction so that they can get the support that they really need. Organising some activities with your team to help boost morale can also be a small help. Doing something as a group that is completely different from what you would normally do in your day-to-day, just to take their minds off it briefly, can also help them refocus. This could be as basic as starting each day with a quick 10-minute quiz that each team member chooses a different topic every morning. And then at the end, helping reset them by encouraging them for what the main focus of the day is for them, just to try and break it down to that day-to-day approach. Another part of keeping your team really anchored in times of uncertainty is clear communication. Uncertainty really breeds confusion. Keeping your team informed, even when you don't have all the answers, is essential and stops them generating their own assumptions about what could be happening. You really want to keep your ears open during this time and make sure you're present with your team. As if you hear people talking about the situation and perhaps putting their own ideas of what the outcomes are, you really want to get on top of that quickly and talk them through what are the known facts that you have right now, and try to encourage them not to make these assumptions, as it creates unnecessary stress when they don't actually know what the outcome is. If you have no more information than what the team already has, or you do but you can't share it, just keep reminding them of the main message that needs to be got across. As until you are sick of repeating yourself again and again, is usually how long it takes for people to actually pick up what the clear message is. So if you haven't repeated yourself at least 3 times, You probably haven't been heard. Try really hard not to deviate from the main message too, as this can also create uncertainty, as it can bring new information into something that doesn't need to be there. Just stick to the facts. Along with boosting morale and clear communication, is also being able to create some adaptability and resilience in your team. The ability to navigate and adapt to change is really key here. Try to foster a culture of learning and problem solving within your team. If you are creating a culture where problems are presented to you and you quickly solve them, it is hard for your team to develop more into being problem solvers themselves, and thus being adaptable and resilient. Ideally, you want to encourage responsibility within your team. So instead of getting just problems from your team, you're getting not only the problem, but some potential solutions as well. You can keep encouraging this with your team members by creating a sense of curiosity. So if they approach you with a problem, you turn it around and say, well, how do you think you would solve this situation? And really encourage them to approach it with that mindset. Once you've done this enough times and they know you're not necessarily going to give them the solution, you'll find that they start slowly bringing you a solution to their problems. If you can also show that you're approaching this uncertain situation with a willingness to learn and develop from it, your team will pick that up too. You'll also need to be mindful of any negative self-talk that you have going on in your mind, particularly if you are also uncertain of the outcome. Viewing setbacks or challenges or uncertainty as an opportunity to grow will help change any negative mindset that you might have playing around in your own head. And then using statements with your team such as, this is a really challenging time for us. However, we can all learn from it and help each other. So you're not belittling the situation and the emotions that they may be feeling from it by acknowledging it is challenging. However, you are encouraging that there's going to be opportunities out of this and we're going to support each other. And really encourage that team member support, as often your team will notice a change in their colleagues faster than what you will. So if they're all looking out for each other, they'll be more likely to be able to support. And it really reinforces that team culture of being together and supporting each other. As someone in a leadership role, your team will be really looking to you to guide them through this. And there have been plenty of times where I've had to navigate such a challenge, which sometimes is quite innocuous, such as a new system being brought in. But it's still a change and a challenge for team members to learn. Or it can be much more significant, such as a restructure and delivering job loss outcomes. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Nikki. I've been in leadership for 17 years and have gone from leading just 2 people to leading leaders. And I have learned some key things about how to navigate your team through restructures and using my own change management training, which will hopefully help you. One thing I have found is that transparency is really the secret weapon to helping you navigate your team through uncertain times. You can implement this through really honest communication. Be upfront about what you know and what you don't know. Don't sugarcoat the situation, but focus on solutions. Now, you may know more than what your team can know, so be careful about how you are delivering this open communication and be mindful of what it is that you need to be communicating with them right now so that you are really clear. Another way to implement transparency with your team is an open dialogue. Really encourage questions and concerns to be raised from your team, and create that safe place for open communication. It's really important to keep addressing the elephant in the room and not just ignoring it. If your organisation has announced a potential restructure or job losses, you need to keep the topic open and not just let it fester amongst the team, creating even more uncertainty. And don't wait until you have more communication to share. Keep reinforcing the main messages that you know they need to understand, and keep doing regular updates. This is about keeping your team informed even when there's no news. It helps combat rumours and just keeps maintaining that level of consistency in your messaging. I also recommend you writing down what the key points are that you want to get across to your team. That way you know you're repeating the same message and you're not creating that inconsistency in what you're saying because you sort of forgot what the main message was and you kind of made it up along the way. Now, uncertain times can really be opportunities for growth, even if it feels like that's not really what you should be focusing on right now. But you will quickly see how different individuals cope with this uncertainty that is surrounding them. You'll also see some different reactions and how important it is as a leader to really manage your own reactions. You'll quickly identify those who really step up and shine. These are the ones that keep an eye on their colleagues and offer support and are quite positive in the way that they talk about the potential changes. Make sure you acknowledge those people for what they're doing, as it really helps create that sense of harmony in your team. However, you'll need to ensure that they're not taking on everyone else's energy too, and that they are looking after themselves. Try to keep the team focused on the day-to-day tasks and bring them back to what's important for your team and your key values. If you haven't seen my video on leadership values, I've linked it on the screen. It provides some great tips around building your values and as a framework to really help manage those key behaviours to build a great culture. Uncertainty can also be a great time to really focus on empowerment and ownership, where you can delegate appropriate tasks or work that you know your team members enjoy to help keep them motivated and keep boosting that morale. Now, it is okay if you don't have all the answers. Projecting confidence when sometimes you don't feel it, particularly if you really don't know any of the outcomes that could be coming your way, is kind of part of leadership. I've linked a video on the screen about building your confidence, but in uncertain times, you really want to focus on keeping a positive mindset. Focus on finding solutions and staying optimistic. Your attitude and display of behaviour really sets the tone for the team. Keep up the transparent communication and remember to celebrate the small wins. Acknowledging and celebrating any kind of success in the team, no matter how small, will help keep people thinking about what they need to be achieving in front of them day to day as well. Leading through uncertainty can be a real test. However, it is a real opportunity to help build and strengthen your team. By fostering open communication, empowering your team, and staying positive, you can help them navigate the uncertainty and actually get stronger as a team. How do you handle leading your team through uncertain times? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more leadership tips. And thanks very much for watching.